The galaxy had many stories. Stories of war, stories of peace, stories of great empires rising and falling. But there was one story that every alien race whispered in fear. The story of humanity. They were different. They were stubborn. They were unpredictable. They were dangerous. And then, they were gone. For centuries, not a single human ship was seen. Not a single colony answered a call. It was as if an entire species had vanished overnight. Some said a great war had destroyed them. Others claimed humanity had fled to another galaxy. A few believed they had simply died out. But even after 500 years, their names still made alien leaders uneasy, because everyone remembered one thing: humans never surrendered. The last human signal in. The farthest reaches of space, where the galaxy's light faded into darkness, an old listening post floated alone. It belonged to the Crixa Empire, a race that once fought against humans long ago. The outpost's duty was simple: scan the void, listen for ships, report anything unusual. For 500 years, nothing ever came. Until now. The Crixa officer on watch was almost asleep when alarms screamed. "Unidentified signal detected," the console said. The officer blinked and leaned closer. The signal was weak, broken, ancient, but clear enough to read. It was human. And it carried only 3 words: "We are returning." The officer's blood ran cold. He stared at the screen, unable to move. The legends, the old war stories, were they true? Could humans still be alive? He sent the message to his commanders immediately. Within hours, every corner of the Crixa Empire was buzzing with fear. Within days, the entire galaxy knew. Humanity, the vanished race, was coming back. The Alien Council reacts on. The planet Relora Prime, the Galactic Council gathered in panic. Representatives from dozens of powerful species argued, shouted, and demanded answers. "This is impossible," one shouted. "Humanity was erased long ago," another hissed. "Erased?" a third scoffed. "You know we never truly defeated them." "We only got lucky. If they return, no empire is safe." An old Valari ambassador leaned forward, his voice trembling. "I fought in the last human war. I saw their fleets. I saw their fury. If this signal is real, we are already too late to stop them." A silence fell over the council chamber. Every species remembered their history with humans. Some had tried to conquer them and failed. Others had betrayed them. A few had been allies, but even they knew humans were not a race that forgot or forgave easily. The Ghost Ship. 3 weeks later, an exploration fleet from the Thalner Republic was sent to investigate the source of the signal. They found a derelict ship drifting near a dead star. At first, it looked like a broken moon, huge, scarred, lifeless. But when they scanned it, they saw markings on its hull, ancient human language, still visible after centuries. "This ship is massive," a Thalner captain said. "Far larger than any human ship recorded in history." The exploration team approached carefully, sending drones to inspect the surface. The ship seemed asleep, its lights dead, its engines silent. But as the drones touched its hull, everything changed. The ship's power core roared to life, sending out waves of energy that shook nearby planets. Lights flickered on, weapon systems unfolded like the claws of a giant beast, and a single transmission went out across the stars. "We are returning." The Thalner fleet panicked and pulled back. They watched as the massive vessel slowly turned its nose toward the galaxy's core, the home of the major alien empires. Then, without a sound, it disappeared into hyperspace. Every alien captain felt the same chill. This was no abandoned relic. This was the first ship of a returning human fleet. The old war stories. In the days that followed, every species told old stories of humanity. Stories of a race that could not be enslaved, could not be broken, could not be wiped out. Stories of human fleets that fought until their last breath, turning hopeless battles into victories. Stories of human science and war machines far beyond what the galaxy thought possible. But the most terrifying stories were about human vengeance. When humans were wronged, they never forgot, and many alien empires had wronged them. Long ago, humanity had stood against a coalition of galactic powers. They had been betrayed, attacked from all sides. Billions of humans died, entire colonies burned. The galaxy thought humanity was finally gone. But what if they hadn't died? What if they had escaped? What if they had been waiting, building weapons, bigger and stronger than anything the galaxy had ever seen? Now, with that one signal, every alien ruler feared the same thing. The humans are coming back, and they remember everything. The watching eyes. Across dozens of worlds, telescopes turned to the edges of the galaxy. Thousands of listening posts scanned the void, desperate to know more. Then came the second sighting, a freighter near the Varkan. Nebula reported seeing a colossal shadow pass across a star, blotting out its light for minutes. Sensors recorded its size. It was no normal warship. It was as big as a planet. No one had ever built something that massive. Not the Krixa, not the Thalnor. Not even the combined might of the Galactic Council. Only one name fit the impossible vessel: humanity. The fear spreads, worlds prepared for war. Fleets gathered, weapons charged, armies built. Yet every admiral, every general knew deep down it wouldn't matter. If humans truly had ships the size of planets, there was no defense. They could crush entire star systems with a single strike. And no one knew their technology anymore. No one knew what humanity had become. Alien civilians whispered in fear. Some prayed humans would come in peace. Others prayed they would not come at all. But everyone knew this truth. The galaxy had been quiet for 5 centuries. That silence was ending. The forgotten message back on the old Krixa listening post. The officer who first heard the human signal stared at it on his screen again and again. The words burned into his mind. We are returning. He wondered what it truly meant. Were humans coming for revenge? Were they coming to reclaim lost worlds? Or were they coming for something far worse? No one could answer. But one thing was certain. The galaxy's long era without humans was over. And whatever came next, nothing in the stars could stop it. The galaxy had not known fear like this for centuries. Ever since the human signal had appeared, the stars felt different. Trade routes were empty. Civilizations that once ruled the void now hid behind fleets. Every species whispered the same. Question: if humans are back, what do they want? No one had an answer. But every day, more ghostly sightings came from the far edges of space, and each one made the galaxy shiver. The first encounter the Thalnor Republic was desperate for proof. Their leaders could not believe humans had truly survived. So they sent an elite scout fleet, 20 fast ships armed with the newest technology, to the outer rim where the signal had originated. For weeks, the fleet found nothing but dead space. No planets, no stations, no ships. Then, on the 37th day, their long-range sensors picked up something massive, drifting in the void without lights or life signs. It looked like a ship, but it was unlike anything they had ever seen. It was the size of a small moon, its black hull blending with the darkness of space. The Thalnor captain ordered the fleet to approach cautiously. As they came closer, they saw strange markings on the hull, ancient, worn down by time, yet still clear, human symbols. The fleet commander felt his chest tighten. This was no alien vessel. This was human-made, a sleeping giant. The alien scouts surrounded the massive object. They sent drones to scan it. At first, it appeared dead. No power, no movement, no response. A giant tomb drifting through space for centuries. But one young Thalnor officer couldn't stop staring at the shape. "It doesn't look like it's broken," he whispered to himself. "It looks like it's sleeping." The commander ordered a closer scan. Their instruments detected something faint deep inside the ship. A pulse, like a heartbeat. Suddenly all the fleet's sensors went dark for 1 second. A cold, mechanical voice whispered over every comm channel. "We are returning." The alien. Crews froze in terror. The giant ship slowly began to rotate, turning toward the scout fleet as if it had woken up. Lights flickered on across its endless surface. Unknown weapons unfolded like giant wings. The Thalnor commander didn't hesitate. "Retreat! Get out of here now!" But it was too late. A glimpse of power. The planet-sized human ship did not fire. It did not chase them. Instead, it opened a vast hangar bay, large enough to swallow the Thalnor fleet whole. And inside, they saw something horrifying. Hundreds of other human warships, smaller but deadly, lined up in perfect silence, waiting to launch. It wasn't just one ship. This was the beginning of an armada. Before the Thalnor scouts could react, the giant vessel sent one last transmission directly into their ship's computers. A message. A map. A single glowing line pointing straight toward the center of the galaxy, home of the Galactic Council. The message ended with just 4 words. "Judgment is coming soon." Then, in an instant, the massive human ship vanished into hyperspace, moving at speeds no alien technology could match. The Thalnor fleet sat in silence, shaken to their core, realizing they had just seen something far beyond their understanding. The news spreads like fire. When the Thalnor scouts returned, the galaxy exploded in chaos. Every major news channel repeated the same headline: "Human warship the size of a planet sighted in the Outer Rim." Panic spread to every world. Citizens fled core planets, fearing a human invasion. Armies began fortifying entire star systems. Some empires secretly contacted old enemies, forming desperate alliances. But the galaxy's military leaders knew the truth. It wouldn't matter how many fleets they had. If humans had ships that big, no defense could stop them. The Council's fear in a hidden chamber on Relora Prime, the Galactic Council met again. "This cannot be real," one leader said, shaking. "It's real," replied the Thalnor commander who had witnessed the ghost ship. "And this is only one vessel. We saw hundreds waiting inside it." "Hundreds," gasps echoed through the room. "They are not returning as survivors," the commander said grimly. "They are returning as conquerors." An elder ambassador, who had fought humans centuries ago, spoke softly but firmly. "You don't understand. This is not conquest. Humans do not fight for territory. They fight for vengeance." The room went silent. Every leader remembered the hidden truth. Long ago, most of their empires had joined in an alliance to wipe out humanity. Billions of humans died because of their actions. The galaxy had thought it was over. But the humans had not forgotten. Now, after centuries, they were coming back, stronger than ever, eyes in the darkness. While the Council argued far out in the void, other ghost ships began appearing. First one, then 3, then entire formations of planet-sized vessels drifting between stars. Some were awake, their engines glowing red like molten fire. Others slept, waiting to rise. Alien explorers dared not go near them. Any ship that came too close received the same message: "Do not interfere. We are returning." The sightings multiplied every day. It became clear that humanity hadn't just built one warship. They had built a fleet big enough to darken suns, and they were moving toward the center of the galaxy, unstoppable, silent, and filled with ancient fury. The galaxy waited in fear. For weeks, strange ghost ships had been sighted in the dark edges of space. Some were silent. Some whispered the same chilling words. "We are returning." But no one had yet seen the full power of humanity's comeback. No one had witnessed a human ship awake in its full glory. Until now. The day the sun went. Dark it happened in the Valari system, a bustling trade hub where dozens of alien fleets gathered every day. Thousands of ships moved through its space lanes, and 3 moons orbited the bright golden sun. On this day, everything seemed normal, until the light of the sun vanished. At first, the Valari thought it was an eclipse, but there were no planets aligned to block the sun. Then, alarms blared across every ship in orbit. Something massive had entered the system, something so large it eclipsed a star. The traders looked up from their viewports, and what they saw stole their breath. A ship, a structure beyond imagination, had emerged from hyperspace. Its surface was black and scarred, yet glowing faintly with red lights. It was larger than a moon, larger than anything the galaxy had ever built. It was not a station. It was not an asteroid. It was a planet-sized warship, and it was human, alien. Panic instantly, Valari defense fleets scrambled into formation. Thousands of alien ships moved to face the giant intruder. Broadcasts screamed warnings to civilians. "Unknown supermassive vessel detected. All ships clear the system." But nothing could calm the panic. Civilians fled toward the planets, terrified that this was the beginning of a war. On the bridge of the Valari command ship, Admiral Sarai stood frozen, staring at the giant vessel. Its design was like nothing she had ever seen. It was not built for beauty. It was built for war, every surface bristling with titanic weapon arrays, each larger than her entire flagship. "Weapons range?" she demanded. "Admiral, it could destroy us from here," her officer said quietly. They had not fired a shot, and already every alien captain knew they had no chance. The first transmission. Then the massive ship came alive. Its surface glowed brighter, energy flowing through kilometers of metal like rivers of fire. A deep vibration filled the system, felt even on planets below. And then a voice boomed across every channel, every screen, every mind in the Valari system. "We are humanity. We have returned. Your galaxy is built on lies and blood. We have not forgotten." The message repeated 3 times before the transmission cut off. No one dared to respond. An impossible display. Admiral Sarai wanted to retreat, but the Council had given her orders. Test the intruder's strength. Prove it could be defeated. So with trembling hands, she gave the command. "Open fire." 1,000 alien ships launched their heaviest weapons. Missiles, energy beams, planet-buster torpedoes, all aimed at the planet-sized ship. Space lit, up like a star going nova. When the light faded, the human warship remained untouched. Not a single scratch marred its hull. Its shields had absorbed everything as if it were a gentle breeze. Then, the human ship answered. It did not fire its main cannons. It simply unleashed a shockwave, a silent pulse that disabled every alien weapon in the system. Entire fleets drifted, helplessly, powerless before the human vessel. The message was clear. This was not a battle. This was dominance. A galaxy in terror. News of the Valari encounter spread faster than light. Entire worlds panicked. If humans had ships like this, no empire could stand against them. If this was only one ship, how many more were coming? Old war veterans whispered grimly, "This is only their vanguard. The rest of their fleet will be even worse." Alien leaders begged for peace talks, but no human answered. Their ships remained silent, except for that chilling phrase, "We have returned." A forgotten past awakens in secret. The Galactic Council released classified files, desperate to understand what was happening. The truth shocked even their own leaders. Centuries ago, when humans had first explored the stars, they had been outnumbered but fearless. They had built incredible technology in a fraction of the time other species needed. The alien empires grew afraid of their rapid rise, so they united against humanity. They launched a war of extermination, killing billions, burning human worlds, and wiping their name from history. Everyone believed they had succeeded. But the truth was different. Humans had survived, hidden away, building weapons far beyond imagination. And now they were coming back, not as victims, not as survivors, but as gods of war. The galaxy was no longer the same. Every empire, every fleet, every leader now feared one name: humanity. One planet-sized warship had entered the Valari system and left without firing a true shot, yet it had silenced thousands of alien warships in seconds. But that was not the worst part. The worst part was this. Every report confirmed that dozens more ships like it were waking up in the dark voids beyond the rim of known space, and no one knew what they were truly capable of. The unanswered question, in the hidden war rooms of the Galactic Council, leaders stared at holograms of the human vessel. "This technology is impossible," one alien engineer said, voice shaking. "No species has ever built a ship this large and this powerful," an old war veteran replied in a low voice. "You do not understand humans. They do not stop when others say impossible. They make it possible." "But how?" another leader asked. "How could a species hunted, nearly destroyed, return with godlike war machines? They had no resources, no allies, no safe worlds left." No one had the answer. But across the galaxy, people began whispering a new name for the returning: humans, the forgotten gods, an ancient recording far from the council on a dead human colony world abandoned for 500 years. A team of alien scavengers uncovered an old human data vault buried deep underground. They expected to find ruins. Instead, they found a warning. A hologram flickered to life, showing a human commander speaking directly to the future. "If you find this, know that we are not gone. They came for us. They burned our worlds. They thought they ended us. But humanity does not end. We will rebuild. We will rise. And when we return, the galaxy will remember who we are." The message ended with a chilling image. A massive ship, a city the size of a planet, armed with weapons strong enough to destroy suns. The scavengers realized this was no dream. This was a plan centuries in the making. Ghost fleets on the move-in. The dark edges of the galaxy, alien sensors began detecting massive energy surges. One by one, colossal human ships activated their engines. The void lit up like a chain of waking titans. Entire fleets, planet-sized warships, were moving in perfect formation toward the galactic core. They traveled silently, broadcasting only 2 words on every frequency: "We remember." The galaxy watched in terror. The old war crimes, long buried in history, were no longer forgotten. The hunters of humanity realized they were about to face their prey again. And this time, humans had the power to erase entire civilizations. An alien spy mission. Desperate for information, the Crixa Empire sent a stealth ship to shadow one of the massive human vessels. The spy crew hoped to record data on its weapons and weaknesses. For days, they followed the silent giant through dark space. At first, it did nothing, drifting like a floating world. Then, without warning, the human ship changed course, heading straight for a dead star. The Crixa crew watched in confusion as the ship fired a single beam into the dying sun. Within seconds, the star reignited, burning brighter than ever. Energy readings skyrocketed to levels beyond known science. The humans had just revived a star. One alien whispered, horrified, "If they can do this to give life, imagine what they can do to destroy." Suddenly, every system on the Crixa spy ship shut down. A voice spoke directly into their minds. "We know you are watching. Leave." The spy ship jumped away immediately. When they returned home, they had only one thing: to say, the humans are no longer like us. They have power beyond the galaxy's understanding. The forgotten fear civilizations began remembering the old wars. Centuries ago, humans had stood against an entire galaxy alone. Despite being outnumbered 100-1, they had almost won. Only betrayal, only a massive surprise attack on their homeworlds had ended the war. If that was what humanity had achieved before, what could they do now, with planet-sized warships and technology that could revive stars? Leaders gathered, their fleets, armies prepared for war. But deep inside, every ruler knew the truth. If humans wanted vengeance, nothing could stop them. For 500 years, the Galactic Council had believed they were safe. Humanity was gone, erased from history, nothing but a cautionary tale told to children. But now, that lie had shattered. Planet-sized warships, human warships, moved through the stars, unstoppable and silent. And every empire that had once betrayed humanity began to feel something they hadn't felt in centuries: pure fear. The silent meeting on Relora Prime, the council chamber, was sealed. Dozens of alien leaders sat in a vast circular hall, their faces tense, their voices low. Every screen around them displayed the same terrifying image: a fleet of human ships, each the size of a planet, forming near the galactic core. There was no debate about whether humans had returned. Everyone knew. The only question now was, what would they do? An insectoid diplomat from the Krixa Empire broke the silence. "We must attack before they gather more ships," it hissed nervously. "We cannot allow humans to reach full strength." An old Valari war veteran turned his head slowly, eyes dark. "You fool," he said. "You saw what a single ship did to Valari defenses. That was one vessel, one. And it disabled 1,000 warships without firing a real shot. If we attack them now, it will not be a war. It will be an execution." Cold dread filled the chamber. The galaxy's greatest powers were admitting the truth. They were helpless. Old crimes resurface. Then, a hollow screen lit up, displaying classified history files once hidden for centuries. The Council had tried to erase these records, but now, facing humanity's return, they needed answers. The files told the forgotten story. Long ago, humanity had risen too fast, grown too strong. They had advanced faster than any other species. The alien empires grew afraid, not because humans were evil, but because they were different. So the empires united in secret. They launched a war to destroy humanity before it could challenge them. Entire human worlds burned, billions died screaming, and when humans finally vanished, the galaxy celebrated, pretending the slaughter had been necessary. Now, every leader in the council chamber realized the horrifying truth. Humans were not coming for territory. They were coming for justice. And justice, from a species known to never surrender, could mean the end of the galaxy as they knew it. A message from the Yag. Void as the council argued, every communicator in the chamber went silent. A cold human voice spoke across the entire galaxy. "We know what you did. We remember every burning world. We remember every child you left to die. And now, you will remember us." The message ended. No demands, no promises, only a threat, made of memories and wrath. Some leaders begged to surrender immediately, others demanded to launch every weapon they had. But no one dared to send a reply. The impossible fleet. Meanwhile, at the edge of the galactic core, new reports flooded in. Dozens more planet-sized warships were emerging from hyperspace, joining the growing human armada. Each ship carried hundreds of smaller warships, enough to rival the combined fleets of 10 empires. Alien observers watched in terror as the human fleet moved in perfect silence, not a single transmission, not a single mistake. Their technology operated on levels beyond understanding. Even the galaxy's most advanced AI couldn't predict their next move. One alien admiral whispered the thought everyone feared. This is not just a fleet. This is a force that could erase everything we've built. Desperate plans. The Council tried everything. Some leaders suggested sending ambassadors to beg for peace. Others plotted secret attacks, thinking a surprise strike could stop the humans before they reached the core. But an old Valari general spoke, his voice heavy with grim truth. You cannot make peace with a species you tried to wipe out, and you cannot destroy them now. They are beyond us. Our only hope, he hesitated, is that they show mercy. A cold silence filled the chamber. Mercy. From a race known for never forgetting, never forgiving. It was a hope as thin as starlight in the void. The dark horizon, across the galaxy, civilians fled to distant worlds, praying the human fleet would pass them by. Entire governments fell as fear shattered empires from within. Old rivalries died overnight. Everyone was too busy fearing the same thing, and still, the human fleet advanced. Each day, more titanic ships joined. Each day, the galaxy's stars grew darker under the shadows of returning warships. No one knew when or where they would strike first. But everyone knew this. Humanity had not come back as the hunted. They had returned as the hunters. The galaxy had never been this quiet. Every empire, every star system, every trading hub, silent. Billions waited in fear, staring at the skies, wondering when the first human strike would come. And then one ship broke away from the massive human fleet. Just one. It was the size of a planet, a moving fortress of black steel, glowing faintly, like a dying star. It left the formation and headed straight toward Relora Prime, the heart of the Galactic Council. The galaxy held its breath. No one dared to guess what one human warship could do, but everyone knew one thing. If humanity wanted war, this single ship could start the end of everything. The arrival for 3 days, the human warship traveled in complete silence. No communication, no threats, no warning. Alien fleets across dozens of systems tried to intercept it, but each time their ships simply stopped working. Engines failed. Weapons refused to fire. Entire fleets were disabled with invisible pulses of human technology. The massive vessel moved through them like a ghost, unstoppable, untouchable, leaving only terrified witnesses behind. On the 3rd day, it arrived in orbit above Relora Prime. The alien homeworld, home to the Galactic Council itself, went dark, under its shadow. The ship was so massive that it blocked out the sun for hours. Entire cities on the surface froze in fear as their skies turned black. Every defense weapon on the planet locked onto the intruder. Thousands of battle cruisers surrounded it, ready to fight even if it meant certain death. But the human ship did not fire. It simply waited. The unseen power inside the Galactic Council chamber, chaos reigned. Dozens of alien leaders argued, shouted, demanded answers. "Fire everything we have!" one screamed. "No!" another cried. "We saw what happened to the Valari fleet. Our weapons are useless." An elder diplomat whispered the thought no one wanted to say aloud. "If this is only one ship and they have dozens more, we are already defeated." The chamber fell, silent. And at that moment, every screen in the room flickered to life. A human figure appeared, face shadowed, voice calm, but carrying the weight of centuries of pain. The message. The human's voice echoed across the chamber, through every device, every ship, every planet in the galaxy. "We warned you once. You answered with fire. You hunted us. You erased us. You killed billions of our children. And you thought we were gone forever. But humanity never dies. We return. We remember. And we will never forgive." The figure leaned forward slightly, their voice turning colder, harder. We did not come for peace. We did not come for war. We came for truth. Every empire that spilled human blood will face judgment. Every leader who signed our death sentence will watch their world burn as ours once did. This is not revenge. This is balance. Then, the human disappeared from the screens. The entire galaxy heard the message, and billions of aliens trembled, knowing that the countdown to humanity's wrath had begun. A terrifying display. Without warning, the human warship fired a single beam into empty space. At first, everyone thought it was an attack, but then they saw what happened. The beam hit a dead planet, long forgotten, orbiting far beyond Relora Prime. The world disintegrated in seconds, turning into dust and light. No weapon in the galaxy could do that. This was power beyond understanding, a weapon that could erase entire planets as easily as swatting a fly. And yet the human ship did not fire on Relora Prime. It simply let the galaxy watch, sending a single message through action alone. This is what we could do to you. We choose not to, for now. The Council's terror panic swept through the Council chamber. Leaders shouted over one another, desperate to find a way out of certain doom. "We must surrender," one cried. "We must fight," another shouted. But one old Valari general spoke, his voice heavy with dread. "You do not understand humanity. They do not want surrender. They do not want war. They want every one of us who betrayed them to pay, and nothing we do will stop them." For the first time in 500 years, the rulers of the galaxy realized they were no longer in control. Humanity held their fate in its hands. The departure, after 3 long days of silence above Relora Prime, the human warship turned away and left. No shots fired, no demands made, no negotiations offered, but the message it left behind echoed across the stars. We are coming, and there is nowhere you can hide. Every alien species understood the truth. This was only the beginning. The humans weren't just back. They were stronger than the galaxy had ever imagined. And this single message was not a warning. It was a promise. For weeks, the galaxy had been drowning in fear. Human warships, planet-sized giants, moved like shadows across the stars. Their presence was enough to silence entire fleets. Their message was clear. We remember. We are coming. And now, the moment every living being dreaded had arrived. The human fleet had formed into battle lines, thousands of colossal ships facing toward the galactic core. Alien spies reported that they were preparing to strike. No one knew where the first blow would fall, but everyone understood one terrible truth. This would not be a war for territory. This would be a war for judgment. The Sky Turns Black it began in the Macrax system, one of the oldest and most powerful alien strongholds. Hundreds of alien fleets were stationed there, armed with the best weapons the galaxy had. They believed they were untouchable. Then, the stars disappeared. One by one, massive human warships dropped out of hyperspace. Each ship was as large as a planet, their black hulls swallowing the light of the suns. Thousands of smaller human vessels poured out from them, forming clouds of deadly precision. The alien commanders stared in shock. The human fleet was so large it filled every scanner. This wasn't an army. This was an entire civilization of war machines, moving as one. An alien captain whispered, trembling, "This is not a fleet. This is the end." The first strike, the Macrax fleets prepared to fire. Thousands of alien ships locked their weapons on the leading human warship. They had orders to attack first, to prove they were not afraid. Before they could fire, a human voice echoed across every channel. 5 centuries ago, you burned our worlds. You left our children in the fire. Now you will understand what you created. And then the sky lit up. One human warship fired a single beam. Just one. The beam sliced through 3 alien dreadnoughts as if they were paper, cutting them in, half without explosions, leaving silent, drifting wrecks. Every alien fleet opened fire at once, unleashing a storm of weapons never seen before. The void blazed with energy blasts, torpedoes, missiles. It was the combined fury of hundreds of species. But when the light faded, the human ships remained untouched. Their shields had absorbed everything, their armor unbroken. Then, humanity truly answered. A fire beyond imagination, the human warships unleashed their power. Torrents of energy brighter than suns burned across the battlefield. Alien capital ships vanished in seconds. Entire fleets, thousands strong, were erased before they could react. The smaller human ships moved like predators, weaving through enemy lines with impossible speed, tearing apart warships 10 times their size with a single shot. Within minutes, what had been the galaxy's strongest defensive fleet became wreckage, drifting in silence. The Macracks' homeworld watched in horror as their last line of defense crumbled. Yet, the humans did not fire on the planet. Their vengeance was aimed only at the fleets that had once hunted them, but everyone knew it was only a matter of time. A message of fear. When the battle ended, only one alien ship remained alive, a communications cruiser. The humans allowed it to escape, sending a final transmission for it to deliver. This is only the first judgment. We will come for every empire that spilled human blood. There will be no mercy. The galaxy will remember. The message spread faster than light. Billions heard it. Entire governments fell into chaos. Some empires begged for forgiveness. Others tried to flee, abandoning their homeworlds, knowing the humans would find them. But there was nowhere to hide. The human fleet moved forward, one system at a time, unstoppable, silent, relentless. The Council's despair back on Relora Prime, the Galactic Council met again, but this time there was no shouting. There was no arguing. Every leader sat in silence, pale with fear. "They're not just destroying fleets," one alien leader whispered. "They are destroying the idea that we can stop them." "They don't want our territory," another said, voice trembling. "They want us to feel what they felt 5 centuries ago." And for the first time, the most powerful rulers in the galaxy realized the truth. Humanity wasn't winning a war. They were delivering a message written in fire. The shadows of Doomaze. The human fleet left the burning wrecks of the Macracks system. Their ships did not celebrate, did not slow, did not speak. They simply moved on to their next target. The galaxy watched in horror as their path became clear. The human armada was heading toward the homeworlds of every empire that once signed the order to destroy them. The reckoning had begun, and nothing in the galaxy could stop it now. The galaxy had lived in fear for months. Human warships, planet-sized monsters of steel and fury, had returned from the void, destroying entire fleets without effort. Every alien empire that once joined in humanity's destruction trembled, knowing their judgment was coming. And now, it had arrived. The largest human warship ever seen was entering the galactic core. Bigger than any planet, larger than any moon cluster, it cast shadows across entire star systems as it passed. Billions stared up at their skies, knowing the same truth. Nothing could stop what was about to happen. The sky goes silent on Relora. Prime, home of the Galactic Council, the day began like a funeral. The planet's sky was dark, not from clouds, but from the endless silhouette of human warships above. Every defense fleet floated uselessly in orbit. No one dared to fire. No one believed it would make a difference. And then, space itself seemed to tear open. The largest human warship emerged from hyperspace, so massive that it dwarfed every other ship in existence. Entire cities on Relora Prime could see it with their naked eyes. It was not a vessel. It was a moving world of vengeance. A deep hum rolled through the stars as the ship powered up, shaking planets thousands of kilometers away. The galaxy knew. This was humanity's judgment made real. The voice of humanity every screen, every device, every mind connected to the galactic network went black. Then, a human figure appeared, cloaked in shadows. Their voice was calm, cold, filled with centuries of pain. 500 years ago, you hunted us. You burned our worlds. You killed our children. You told the galaxy we were gone. You lied. The voice grew stronger, echoing across the stars. We are humanity. We are the fire you could not kill. We are the storm you tried to bury. And now, the galaxy will remember our name. Then, the figure disappeared. The silence that followed was worse than any scream. The trial of worlds without warning, beams of light erupted from the massive human warship, striking directly at the homeworlds of the empires that once signed humanity's death sentence. But these were not weapons. These were holographic projections. Giant images of alien rulers appeared above their own capitals, their past crimes exposed for the entire galaxy to see. Every betrayal, every massacre, every false word they spoke to justify humanity's slaughter was revealed to billions. For the first time in history, the galaxy saw the truth. The extermination of humanity had not been a war of defense. It had been a war of fear and greed. Riots erupted across worlds. Empires collapsed under the weight of their own guilt and shame. The galaxy's most powerful leaders fell to their knees, knowing there was no escape. The final fire. Then the human ship unleashed its true power, not on civilians, not on innocent worlds, but on the heart of every empire that had signed the order to burn Earth. Their military capitals, their fleet headquarters, their weapon forges, all turned to dust in seconds. Entire armadas, the pride of alien empires, were erased from existence before they could react. The galaxy understood. This was not war. This was not conquest. This was judgment. Humanity had come not to rule, but to make sure that those who once hunted them could never threaten them again. Titas, galaxy kneels. When the fire stopped, silence filled the stars. Every empire, every ruler, every surviving fleet transmitted the same desperate message. We surrender. Please, stop. But no human voice replied. The colossal warship simply turned away, its engines glowing like a dying sun. Before it left, a final message echoed across the galaxy, soft but unshakable. We do not seek peace. We do not seek revenge. We seek remembrance. Let no one ever forget what was done to us. Let no one ever dare again. Then, the great human fleet vanished into hyperspace, leaving only silence and fear behind. The new galaxy, for centuries after that day, the galaxy remained quiet. No empire dared to enslave or destroy another species. No one dared to start a war that could lead to such a judgment again. In the dark void, legends spread of humanity's hidden empire, somewhere far beyond known space. Planet-sized warships, fleets that could burn stars, warriors who never forgot, and every child born in the galaxy learned the same truth from their first breath. Humanity may vanish, humanity may fall, but humanity always returns. The galaxy had fallen into silence after humanity's judgment. Entire empires were shattered, their fleets turned to dust, their leaders stripped of power. No one dared to fight again. No one dared to challenge the force that had returned from the void. But while the galaxy trembled in fear, rumors began to spread. Strange signals were being detected from the farthest corners of space. Voices, human voices, echoed across the stars, whispering a chilling message. This is not the end. We are only watching. The fear that wouldn't die every alien world now lived under a shadow of terror. Even after humanity's fleet had vanished, No one felt safe. Every day, new stories spread of ghostly human ships drifting through systems, silent and dark, observing everything. Some claimed that humanity had left spies across the galaxy, warships cloaked in darkness, unseen but always watching. Others swore they had seen planet-sized vessels moving just beyond the edge of their sensors, as if the human fleet had never really left. One truth echoed in every mind. The humans could return at any time, and no one could stop them. The meeting of the broken-on Relora Prime, what remained of the Galactic Council gathered once more. The once proud rulers of the galaxy now sat in fear, their voices trembling. What if they come back? A Crixa admiral whispered. We surrendered. But what if surrender is not enough? An elder Valari leader spoke in a hollow voice. They do not want our surrender. They want us to remember. If we ever forget, if we ever dare to repeat what we did, they will burn the stars to stop us. No one disagreed. The galaxy's greatest powers had been reduced to frightened children. The strange signal. 3 weeks later, a signal was detected in the uncharted void beyond the galactic rim. It was old, centuries old, but it carried a human message. A research vessel went to investigate. The crew found a massive, dead human station drifting in darkness. Inside, they discovered a recording. A human voice spoke slowly, like a promise carved into stone. We left the galaxy once before, thinking we were safe. We will not make that mistake again. From now until the end of time, humanity will watch. If tyranny rises, we will return. If another tries to burn the innocent, we will burn the guilty. The research crew returned to the council, terrified. Humanity hadn't just delivered judgment. They had made themselves the galaxy's eternal guardians and executioners. The shadow of warships. Not long after, a trade convoy reported seeing a planet-sized human ship drifting silently near a nebula. It did not attack, did not send messages, did not move, but every alien pilot felt its presence. A silent warning that the galaxy's peace existed only because humanity allowed it. Other sightings followed. Ghost fleets moving faster than sensors could track. Human signals on encrypted channels no one could decode. A single chilling truth spread across every star system. Humanity was still out there, always watching. The galaxy changes. Forever. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy knew true peace, not out of kindness, but out of fear. Empires that once enslaved weaker species freed them, terrified of human judgment. Armies disbanded, rulers fled, wars ended overnight. But in the quiet of their hearts, every alien wondered the same thing. Would humans ever trust the galaxy again? Or had they become something more than mortal, a force of vengeance that would never stop watching the stars? For years, the galaxy lived in fear and silence. Humanity had delivered its judgment, burning fleets and destroying the tyrants who once hunted them. Then, just as suddenly, the humans had vanished again, leaving only whispers behind. But now, something was changing. Deep in uncharted space, beyond the edge of every map, alien probes recorded terrifying images. Planet-sized warships, thousands of them, moving in perfect formation. Entire star systems were filled with black steel giants, their glowing engines lighting up the void like endless fireflies. And for the first time, the galaxy realized something far worse than vengeance was coming. The fleet that had returned. Before, the one that had burned the galaxy's armies, was only a fraction of humanity's true power. The rumors become terror. Every empire had spies watching the dark regions of space, hoping for reassurance. But what they saw only spread panic. Massive human construction yards surrounded dying stars, pulling energy from their cores to build even larger warships. Entire planets were being reshaped into machines of war. Human fleets bigger than moons. Tested weapons that could shatter suns in a single shot. One spy transmission was leaked across the galaxy. An alien voice, trembling, whispering through static. The humans are preparing for something greater than war. What we saw before was nothing. The true fleet is waking up. The Council's desperation on Realora Prime. What remained of the Galactic Council gathered once again. These were not proud leaders anymore. They were survivors, haunted by fear. A Crixa scientist spoke first, her voice barely steady. We underestimated them once. We thought their first fleet was all they had. But this is a force that could erase the galaxy itself. An old Valari general shook his head slowly. No, he said. This is not just about vengeance anymore. This is preparation. Humanity has seen what the galaxy is capable of. They know what we did to them. And now, they are making sure no one will ever dare again, not for 1,000 lifetimes. Another council member asked the question that chilled everyone's blood. What happens when they decide the galaxy cannot be trusted to stay peaceful? No one had an answer. The signal that shook the stars, then, without warning, every communication system in the galaxy lit up. A human voice spoke, deep and commanding, echoing from every starship, every planet, every station. We gave you mercy once. Do not mistake it for weakness. We remember what you did to us. We remember every world you burned. And now, we prepare. Not for vengeance, but for the day your kind, or any kind, dares to rise in tyranny again. The voice grew louder, filled with unshakable power. We are humanity. We do not forgive. We do not forget. We do not fall. And then the message ended. But the fear it left behind was endless. The first glimpse of the true fleet weeks later, alien exploration drones caught sight of it. The true human fleet. It stretched across entire star systems, endless ranks of planet-sized ships, each capable of destroying worlds, each escorted by swarms of smaller war machines. New ships were being built every day, as if humanity were preparing for a war beyond imagination. And at the heart of the fleet was a single colossal flagship, larger than a small star, glowing like a captured sun. No one knew its purpose, only that it carried the name Eternal Memory. Even the bravest alien warriors wept when they saw it. This was no longer just a species. This was a force of nature, a power that even time itself could not erase. The galaxy bows one by one, alien. Empires collapsed. Entire governments declared eternal surrender, swearing never to rise against humanity again. No one dared to even whisper rebellion. But everyone knew the truth. Humanity wasn't listening to their promises anymore. Humanity wasn't asking for peace or obedience. Humanity was building a future where no one could ever threaten them, or anyone else, again. A future where tyranny would be burned out of existence before it could rise. The final truth far away, on a silent world once, used as a human graveyard during the Great Betrayal, a hidden human beacon activated. Its message spread across every corner of the galaxy. We left the galaxy once, and you hunted us. We came back, and you feared us. Now we remain forever. We are the shield. We are the fire. We are the final judgment of the stars. The transmission ended, and the galaxy finally understood. The return of humanity was not an event. It was the beginning of a new age, an age where the stars themselves would tremble before the memory of Earth. And as the true human fleet continued to grow, larger than anything ever imagined, every living being understood one final eternal truth. Humanity never dies. Humanity never forgets. Humanity always returns, stronger than before.